Math is the cool subject.
Oh, good. Thank you. Well, that's why I like recording this class, because you guys are my most enthusiastic about learning. Good. Good. Thank you for the compliment. All right. And thank you for the mathematics compliment. So this is going to be fractions. We've done this before last month, and we're going to be also doing this week more equations work. Okay? We're going to be doing more equations. So today's going to be a review on fractions. Some of you do better than others with fractions, but at the end of this, hopefully we'll all be doing really well with fractions. So addition and subtraction are the harder ones. We're going to spend the majority of this lesson on that in this video. Addition. Things to remember: the first, you have to see if the fractions have common denominators. If they do not, you have to make sure to find the common denominator before moving on. Common denominator. I want you to put a little underline in that in addition to what you highlighted. Or if you have a highlighter, highlight that part there. Good. That's going to be the biggest thing for adding and subtracting fractions. Having a common denominator. Class, what's the biggest thing for adding and subtracting fractions?
Finding the common denominator.
Beautiful. You have to have it as a common denominator before you can work with it. Okay? So we are going to add whole numbers together. We are going to add fractions together. The denominator stays the same. If the fraction in your answer is improper, simplify it by changing it to a mixed number. And make sure that your fraction is reduced. Now, it says there to add the major numbers, but when you guys were doing this on your fraction quiz last month or 2 months ago, whatever it was now, there's a lot of mistakes that were being made with that. Your safest bet would be to just create an improper fraction no matter what. Okay? Just create an improper fraction no matter what. So we're going to be doing that with a lot of them. So here we go with the first one. First thing we have to ask ourselves is, does it have a common denominator? Does it? Yes, it does. So that means that this is easy peasy. This one is easy peasy. We are going to leave the denominators as they are. And what is 5 plus 7, people? Say it. 12. Good. Beautiful. Now we have an improper fraction. Dana, what do I need to do there? Make it a mixed number. Good. So what would it be without simplifying? What is it as a mixed number? So this is the part that you're doing in your head right now. Oh, yes, I did that right. Erase. Thank you. That's the part you're doing in your head. So it comes out to be 1 3/9, and then that simplifies to, Jace, 1 1/3. Whoa. Yeah, I guess so. 1 1/3. There we go. 1 1/3. Now we deal with integers again, because we have a negative 4/11. But we do not have common denominators. So what's we going to do? What do we do?
We have to multiply the 11 by the 3 and the 3 by the 11.
Multiply them together. Now, here's the difference of multiplying those two together. Okay? There might be, please stop that. There might be a different common denominator between those two other than just multiplying them together. But in this situation, that is the least common multiple, okay, which is 33. So we want to have the 33 as our denominators. And here's what happens. This 11 was multiplied by 3, so this 4 has to be multiplied by 3 to keep it equivalent fractions, which brings this negative over. We have 12. This was multiplied by 11, so this has to be multiplied by 11 as the numerator, 22. Now we have a negative. Now we have common denominators here. Common denominators, all right. But now we have a negative that we can't forget about. We have a negative that we cannot forget about. So I'm going to look at a number line, and what is that? I'm going to look at a number line here. It's a beautiful number line, you might be thinking to yourself. Yeah. Okay. So I'm at a number line, view 100. my fraction, get out of there. What was it? It was negative 12, right? Was that it, or is that a different question?
That's negative 12 and 22.
Yeah, it was negative 12 over 33 plus 22 over 33. So I'm starting at negative 12. And when I add, I'm going this direction on my number line. Right? Here's where we're starting. We're just looking at the numerators. So we're just looking at it as if it were negative 12 plus 22. We are at negative 12 right here. We are going to go 22 spots that direction, which would put us stopping at 10. Okay? That's that integers that was from the notes 2 weeks ago today that some people are really struggling with. Oops. Let me erase all that. We are adding, but it seems like subtracting. Pages, going. So, where were we? Here we go. So now we just found out that we are ending at 10 over 33. And can that be reduced at all? No, it can't be reduced. So we circle it and we're done. Yes, ma'am. Yes. So negative 12 plus 22 comes out to be 10. Now here's another one that deals with negatives. We can't forget about this negative here. Yes, sir.
I know
What do we have to do?
we have to make it
Improper. Yep, we have to make it an improper fraction. And how do I do that? How do I do that? Yeah.
You multiply the bottom by, like, yeah, and then but I'm trying to explain it.
Sure.
And then you add 3 and 1.
So that times that plus that, right?
Yeah.
So it's we multiply the denominator times the whole number, then we add the numerator, which this new version of this is going to be 10 over 3 plus. Then what's this next one?
Negative 17 over 3.
Negative 17 over 3. Now, there's been a couple of people today that have wanted to do 3 times negative 5, which comes out to be negative 15, and then they add 2, and they want to make it negative 13. Okay? Logically, that makes sense. But just think of it as being, for that instance, when we're making an improper fraction, think of it being like this. Okay, that this negative is outside of the parentheses. Because in fact, what it would be... Wow, okay. So now we have common denominators, and if we are adding a negative, okay, negative means also opposite, so it's going the opposite of adding. What's the opposite of adding? Subtracting. So I can rewrite this if I wanted to, like this. Okay, this is just like the additive inverse here that we did that a lot of you get confused about. So we have 10 minus 17 is where? Negative 7. Negative 7 over 3, which comes out to be negative 2 1/3. Negative 2 1/3.
Do we have to make it a negative?
Yes. Yep. Yep. Because if not, you don't want to answer any questions for fractions with improper fraction. It always wants to be simplified and a mixed number, unless otherwise stated. Any questions on those easier ones? Okay. Why don't we do Smitharoo on 4 and 5? Right, Smiths, because you don't have to do those ones for time reasons. And you have enough practice in your homework anyway? Mm-hmm. Just 20 questions. Yep, just 20. It's true. Ooh, 21. Now that's just crazy. Okay. Now with this one, rather than doing the mixed fractions, we're just going to add the whole numbers together. So we have the whole numbers here, which is 22. 21, as people love saying, because of that vine. Yeah, I saw the vine. So we have 10 plus 22, so that would just leave 3/4 plus 5/6. And we need to find a common denominator. I'm gonna pick up the pace here a little bit. Yes, sir. 24. That is a common denominator, but it's not the least common denominator. Which means if you were to say 24, that adds another step at the end. That adds another step on the end. Yeah. What's the LCD? Least common denominator. 12. Times 3 times 3 times 2 times 2, which becomes to be 9/12 plus 10/12, which comes out to be 19/12. Do you agree? Because we had to keep the denominator there. Jace?
Why wouldn't we make them improper fractions?
This, I'm just showing another way of doing it. This, with addition, it's nicer. But because we don't have any negatives, these are both positive integers, so it makes it easier. Yes?
How'd you get the 3?
3.
Yeah.
I know that the least common multiple, or the least common multiple of 4 and 6 is 12. The way that you get from 4 to 12 is times 3, and you have to do it at the top as well to keep it equivalent fractions. Yes, Lainey?
If I do it like this, is that okay? Because like that's kind of
Yeah, that works. You're showing work, which is good. I mean, the bottom line is there's so many things with mathematics. If you find a way that works best for you, because I know in this class there's ways that your parents have been teaching you. If it's different than this, that's fine, as long as you're getting the same answer. The difference is when you have to represent stuff visually like we had in the past, as long as you can still do that, we're good. Okay? We're good. All right. So now we have 19/12. That is a improper fraction, and we need to be proper. So we have 1 and 7/12. So we have to add that to that, which becomes 23 and 7/12. And we can't reduce that at all. Cannot reduce it. Nope, because 7 is a prime number, so it doesn't reduce. So, yeah, my degree is Bachelor of Science in Education, because science, the term science means the study of. Social studies? I am endorsed to teach social studies, yeah.
Oh.
Yep, I can legally teach social studies. Yeah, for 7 years. All right, subtraction. Subtraction is very similar to addition because we do the additive inverse anyway. Quiet, please. We do the additive inverse anyway. That's what we were doing in the other one. And the reason why it shows this right here, let's zoom in 200. So you can Smitharoo 1, 2, and 3. The reason why it shows this right here is because it's trying to get you to do the additive inverse like that. Okay? We're not doing them because A, they're a little easy, and B, we're pressed for time, and you guys would have enough examples. Okay? So now that it is a addition with the additive inverse, we have common denominators already. And dropping pens. Which just comes out, you're fine. You're sorry. You don't even apologize. 37 over 5 plus negative 3/5, which comes out to be 34/5. That simplifies out to be 6. Ooh. 6 4/5. Any questions on that one? Whoop. What about the 7?
Like,
That,
if you,
we made it into an improper fraction.
okay.
Okay. And I'd like you, in the example here, the subtraction of how to, it talks about seeing if you can subtract the bottom fraction from the top fraction. I want you to create improper fractions. I want you to create improper fractions. Okay? I want you to create improper fractions, especially with subtraction, because whenever there's a bigger numerator that's being subtracted from a smaller numerator, when the denominator is the same, you're going to run into going further than just 1, but I don't want you to make that mistake, so don't do it. All right, number 5. This one has some bigger improper fractions. Okay, they're not improper, bigger mixed numbers. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes to work on this one. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to work on it, then we'll see how you did. Okay, I'm going to start working through this one. A couple seconds early, but that's fine. I have to multiply 5 times 13, which is going to be 65, plus 4, which is 69, negative 69 over 5, minus 42 plus 5, 47 over 6. So I have 47 over 6, or 69 over 5 minus 47 over 6. Now common denominator, the least common denominator for this one is going to be what? 30. So that means that this has to be multiplied by 6. This has to be multiplied by 6, multiplied by 5, multiplied by 5. And I know that 70 times 6 is 420, and it's 1 less than that, so 414 minus 5 times 50 is 250, but it's 15 less than that. So I have 235 over 30. Ah, the distributive property. A way to make yourself very impressive looking. What? Oh, a way to impress your friends and family with your mathematical skills. Impressingly looking. That is wonderful English. Next week in Language Arts, Mr. Smith teaches class. All right. Now, we have common denominators. We have negative 414. So on our number line, here's 0, here's negative 100, negative 200, negative 300, negative 400. So I'm here somewhere-ish, and I'm going further that way because it's subtraction. Yes, sir? Yeah. I've subbed for language arts teachers a couple times, yeah. It was fun. I don't remember. So we have negative, it would have been fifth period. Negative 649 over 30. Negative 649 over 30. Then we got to simplify this. So I'm going to do, it's going to be negative, this is going to be 2, this is going to be 60, this is going to be 4. We're going to drop that down, go ahead and go 9. That only goes in one more time. That only goes in one time. So it'll be 30 right here, which is 19, which means that my answer is going to be negative 21 and 19 over 30. How many of you got that? Raise your hand. All right, about half of you. Do that one thing, yes. I love that one thing.
Yeah, but it makes you can make the subtraction sign
The additive inverse, yep.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
I did that.
That's good, yeah, as long as you, yeah, that's good. We've taught you that as well. Okay, does anybody still need to see how I did that? Okay, you can always pause it on YouTube. Come on. All right, negative 21 is the answer. Okay. Next one, number 6. Did I have you guys do this one? All right. So I'm gonna shoot through this as we go through. Okay, as we go through. I want you to have the improper fractions because it's easier to work that way. So right away we're going to have 43 over 4 minus 17 over 7. Okay? The least common denominator between these two is 28, which means that I'm going to multiply this by 7, by 7, by 6, by 4. By 4, by 4. 43 times 7 is going to be 40 times 7, which is 280 plus 21, which is 301. Is that right? 280 plus 21, yeah. 301 over 28 minus 28. Then we have 17 times 4, which is going to be 12 less than 80, 68. So 301, because we have common denominators, leave the denominators just like that. 301 minus 68 is, what do we got?
23. I see 31. 231.
233.
I subtracted on the 10 off.
All right, now to find out what that's going to be, we do the fraction, or the division. See how this is combining all the things we've done, folks? Okay? You got a headache, as I said? Well, not really. She talks very quiet. Okay, so 28 is going to be just, it's not going to be, let's see, 8 maybe? $16 to $14. 16 to 24. 224, so we got 8 to 24. That's 9. So it's a remainder 9. So we have 28 and 8 28ths, or 9 28ths. Can that be reduced at all? Because 9 only has 3 going to it, and 28 isn't anything with 3. Did you get the same answer?
Yeah.
Then I'm happy for you. Good. As long as you got the right answer. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
So the 8 at the top is the whole number?
Yeah, this is what goes in. Yeah, this is, and the reason why I didn't stop talking. Hey, the reason why I didn't go over that is because we went over that when we did long division. But what it is here's the whole number, here's the remainder out of 28. Because this 28 here, this spot, is the denominator anyway, and it stays the denominator. Okay? Good, good, good. View. And we are making good pace, folks. Making good pace, making good pace. I'm so happy. All right. Multiplication. Multiplication and division is so much easier.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. With fractions. With fractions, it's so much easier than addition and subtraction. You do not need to find the common denominator, and that's what the whole work of addition and subtraction was that we were doing. We don't have to find the common denominator this time. What we do have to do is check to see if your problem contains mixed numbers. If it does, change the mixed numbers to improper fractions. Change a whole number to fractions by putting them over 1 and cancel if possible. Yes? Yes. After you highlight that section. Check to see if the problem, or cancel if possible. That cross simplification is huge. Cross simplification is huge. That made, when we took the fractions test, so many of you didn't finish that test. It's because you didn't cross simplify. You kept reducing rather than cross simplifying at the beginning. And we will have examples like that. Multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. We're just multiplying straight down the train line. If the fraction of your answer is improper, simplify it and change it to a mixed number. Mixed number.
So you're doing 1, 2, and 3?
Yep, Smith is written on 1, 2, and 3. But we are going to do 4, 5, 6. We're going to do 4, 5, 6. Okay. So for number 4. As I said before, to avoid any silly mistakes, I want you to create improper fractions. Improper fractions. So what's going to be the improper fraction for this one? Max. (36/5) is correct. 36/5 times 10/27. Now, rather than multiplying 5 times 27, 36 times 10, we are going to cross simplify. Jace, do you remember what we need to do?
Yeah, you cross simplify.
Yeah.
10 divided by 5.
There we go.
5 divided by 5.
10 and 5 have a common factor, which is 5. So I'm going to divide. Ooh. I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Divided by 5. And also the other side has a common factor. 9. 9. The greatest common factor is what you want to do. Greatest common factor. So that is 9 divided by 9. So this thing here is new fraction becomes 36 divided by 9 is what, Johanna?
4/1.
You're not Johanna. So we're going to do the 36 and the 27 first. So what's 27 divided by 9, Johanna? Just think of the factors. 9. 9 times 2 is what? 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 2 is? 9 times 3 is? There we go, 3. Then we have 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Isn't that so much nicer? Oh. Then we just multiply straight across. Multiply straight across. So 4 times 2 is what? 8. 3 times 1 is?
3.
Okay, so here's my answer, but it's not simplified yet. Yeah.
It's
2 and 2/3. 2 and 2/3. You guys all right? Yeah, it is. Okay, yes, it's warm in here. It will be warm in here. You will be fine. Bring a water bottle tomorrow. But the yeah. Next one. Charlie, were you here on Friday?
No.
Yes. I don't think so. You didn't take your quiz, did you? Okay, good. That's right. You chose to take your quiz. That's right. You're going to be okay. Bring water tomorrow, okay?
Yeah, I like bring water.
You're going to be okay. All right, number 5. I want you to do number 5 as I'm doing number 5. Okay? I want you to do number 5 as I do number 5 right now. Then erase Smith and do it above it. Go from here. These two have a common factor. These two have a common factor. When I rewrite it, comes this. Divide by 11. Divide by 5. So now we have -3 over 2 times 5 over 1. -15. 2. Becomes 7. 24. 22 plus 2 is 24. Rats. Good catch. Thank you. Thank you. Didn't think that was the same answer I got last period. 24, so now we can just do 2. So for number 5, get negative 7 and 1/5. Yep, don't forget the negative. If you need to, go ahead and circle it and draw a big like arrow toward it so you don't forget it.
So if you did forget it, then it's like completely wrong.
It would be half off like it is on the assignments that I give you and stuff. Yeah, it's the exact opposite. Negative means opposite anyway.
Can you get a different room? There isn't one
Like Mr. Jordan. Maybe you can get Mr. Jordan's room.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's a different.
No.
Oh.
I like this room. You will adjust. You might not like it, but tough. Yeah, I'm wearing a tie, a pants, and a pants. Yeah, a pair of pants and a long sleeve shirt, and I do it every day. You're in your pajamas practically. A lot of you are. Okay, continuing on. I want to make sure we get these examples. I want to do. You know what? Just like my other classes, I want you guys to do that one. I want you to write a little note to yourself here that says, I must complete. Oh, good. Okay. All right. Division. Division. You must check to see if your problem includes mixed numbers. If it does, change the mixed numbers to improper fractions. Change any whole number to fractions by putting them over 1. Change the division to multiplication and flip the second fraction. That's the biggest point of division. Okay? Multiplicative inverse. That's the biggest part. I want you to make sure that you highlight that second thing to remember. Knees are hurting. Surprised it didn't pop. It's good for you. All right. Whoa. There we go. Now, I want you to write Smith on 2, 4, and 6 of that section. So I'm going to set this one up with the most important concept. Okay? I'm going to set this one up. Now, first off, I see a negative sign, which means what? My quotient is going to be what? Negative. If there's one negative with multiplication and division, you know it's negative. So I have 5/6 divided by negative 7/9. What would be the multiplicative inverse there, Owen? What's the multiplicative inverse of this? Do you remember what that is? Okay, look what it says for the second thing to remember. There we go. Change to the second fraction. So it's going to change to 5/6 times flip, negative 9/7. Now I just multiply across. Yes, sir. I could have simplified? Oh, you're right. Yep. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real simple.
Keep it real.
Yes, keep it real simple. Oh, he is so hip and happening and dorky. He is in the know. He does Instagram and no. Okay? I don't do Instagram actually. Okay, we have a 3 here, which would be 5, 2 times negative 3 over 7. So negative 15 over 14, which equals negative 1 and 1/14. Boom. Look at that simplification. All right, so we're at about, I don't know what time we're getting out. Please stop. Okay. Work on the next 2. I'm going to set them up for you so you can see, then it just works like regular division. Okay? All right, I'll set them up.